Welcome
Welcome
to Sleepdrunk.
to Sleepdrunk, where, in the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, these vicious felonies are handled by an elite squadron known as the Special Victims Unit. These are not their stories. So, Mike, how was your week?
Is this our transition into Mike's Minute?
Yes, it is.
My week's actually been pretty okay, I'd say. That's a lie. Actually, it was really rough. We got donged in Professor Ravioli's econ class. We had a test Monday night. That wasn't very fun. And then this weekend, I had to write a massive paper for philosophy comparing Platonic conceptions of self with Buddhist conceptions of self. And that sounds boring, and it was. What about you, Alavi?
My week's actually been on the average side. I had that test with Professor Ravioli. I didn't think it was that bad personally, but that is because I've been studying economics for a while. Michael has not. Other than that, the week's been moving pretty steadily. I had to skip my computer science class because I had a doctor's appointment. That was fun. I got to drive out 40 minutes to my allergist. Nothing else really comes to mind. I just pushed my glasses up and Michael made a comment on it, physically speaking through moving his hands.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but you physically commented on it. Weekend so far has been pretty relaxed. Haven't done a ton. Spent a lot of time last night actually doing some back-end stuff with the podcast. We migrated our hosting platform.
That was just painful. They should really make that easier.
That was painful.
I was busy playing Pokemon the entire time.
It was.
And also refusing to let us use his card after mine kept getting declined. So now I'm going to have to explain to my mother why there is a $108 charge on my joint shared credit card.
I would have had to do the same. My mom sees my bank statements.
Why does your mom get up on your business like that? Like, my mom can see my bank statements, but she chooses not to because she respects my privacy.
My dad's like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I want to talk to you.
So, Alex, I know you had a bit of a week, didn't you?
Yes, here in Alex's asymmetrical unit of time. Holy fuck. Last week was oh god. Where do I even start?
It was a rough week.
It was a really rough week.
This is going to turn into therapy, so I'm your therapist. Let's start from square one.
Michael, you can eat
slow.
my dick.
Michael, you're not a therapist, you're a prostitute.
You're a prostitute.
Look, people
Michael?
seek resolution to their problems in their own ways.
Michael,
Alex,
you're a prostitute.
Look,
From the bottom of my heart, you're a prostitute.
I'm providing a valuable service, okay?
You're not even a licensed professional.
It is the oldest profession.
So anyway, my week was really hellish. So Monday, I got my physics test back. He had a really long line to hand out the tests because he only was doing it with himself and a TA. So I was in the really long line for the A through I don't really know what letter, but probably I line. I was in the right line, thank God, because it was really long and I didn't want to have to wait through it again on the other side. Got my test back, 20 out of 48.
That's rough.
It's just, like, for some context here, I went into that test expecting a 90 to a 95, right? And I walked out with that. Okay, so I go sit down. I'm already, like, pissed off with this score. I go sit down, and he's doing his lecture, and he's like, you know what? I think question 3A was a little bit too advanced because it was unit 3 and this test was supposed to only be on units 1 and 2. So he gave us 5 points. So, like, okay, I walk out of the room with a 52 on my test. Fantastic. So he told the whole class that if they would like to dispute their grade on any question in the test, that they can email him and meet him in his office, except if they're wrong, they get 10% of their score subtracted off the test. Like, that's just a little rude. So I was really concerned. I didn't know what to do. And then I looked at the rubric for the test once I got back to my dorm. And I was like, this is some real theory. Like, I didn't want to make my grade any worse, but I was just really questioning the rubric at this point. And I emailed him, like, I just want to talk to you about your rubric. Like, is there any way I can, like, get away from the 10 points rule? Because, like, the last thing I want to do is make my grade worse. So he's like, sure, we can start off casually at first. And I set up an appointment on Wednesday, so we'll get to that later. Later that day, I had a quiz in math and recitation. It didn't go well. Kind of came back to my room and quite literally wanted to die for 50 minutes or however long it is. I don't know how long it is until my ECE lab. That was really easy. Fast forward to Tuesday. What happened on Tuesday?
What did happen on Tuesday?
I don't think Tuesday existed.
Yeah, Tuesday just kind of Just kind of happened.
Yeah. Nothing really happens on Tuesday. I mean, we did have to give that presentation.
Oh, yes, we did
class.
give Alavi and I gave a presentation in our visual culture class, and that was really fun. Actually, it was not fun, but
it wasn't terrible.
It was really fun in a really sarcastic sense, but it didn't go terribly. Like, we did a really good job, honestly. I think we did better than most of the class.
Although the article we had to present on was interesting.
Oh my god, that's a topic for another time. But the article I presented on was really, but I had the longest discussion I think we've seen so far on any one paper. That was I was proud of myself for that. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday, I got up early, went to physics, had my exam, my second exam. I don't know about that one. That stresses me out. Anyway, I then went to my meeting with my physics professor. Let's call him James Westinghouse. Because he has a long W last name. So
is he from like Yorkshire?
So I went to meet him, and I walk into his office, and he's just kind of chilling there on his computer, and I shake his hand. He had a really bad handshake, but he's a nice dude. I don't think the circle glasses really work on him. But we talked about his rubric, and I was like, I don't think that this rubric really reflects our knowledge all that well. I told him this. I was like, if I can go into the test expecting a 90 to a 95, I feel like I should be able to at least walk out with an 80. And I walked out with 52. And he's like, okay, you know what? Let me just take a look at what went on with your test here. And my test was covered in sticky notes by this time. Like, I had sticky notes everywhere because I didn't want to write on the test to like be confusing as to what happened prior and what happened after. So I had sticky notes all over the test, and he goes through and he marks my test all the way up from a 52 to an 89.
Wow. I didn't know that.
That's a big difference.
It's quite the difference. So after that, I was very happy about that. I went and talked to my people in physics lab later that day, and they were also feeling the same way about exam 2, and they were really surprised to hear about my exam. And then Thursday, I had a test in ECE. That should have went pretty well. ECE, in case you don't know, is electrical and computer engineering.
Sounds like a snooze fest, but
honestly, it's stuff that nerds like myself find very interesting. I mean, it's my favorite class. But we did some really boring stuff in visual culture, and then I went and got my exam back in Calc 71.
Mine wasn't that much.
Calc
better.
2 is
that's not
pretty
bad.
dumb.
Yeah. Calculus is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah. No, because you will die if you're faint of heart when you see your exam scores.
I know mine was like a 76, and I'll be quite honest, like, if it wasn't for the formula for arc length in calculus, I would have done a lot better. Everything else was great. It's just arc length. For those of you
the formula for arc length is really easy. It's integrating it.
Yeah, and I also forgot. I didn't write the formula down correctly.
And I don't know if you know
the square the derivative.
Yes, and I don't know if you know anything about integration, but integrating 1 over the square root of another function, it's really hard.
It is incredibly hard.
It's really hard.
See, the tricks, you have to convert it to a trigonometric function, and then you have to deal with secant, and it sucks.
Sal over at Khan Academy has a really good tutorial on how to do trig substitution in case you're suffering in calculus 2 like us.
Yeah.
See, I'm glad I just took Calc 200 in high school and then just got to cop out after that.
You're lucky. Mm-hmm. You're very lucky.
Does your degree have a math requirement?
Nope.
See, we're STEM majors.
Math.
Yes.
STEM majors get the STEM shoved right in their ass.
No worries.
That's pretty poetic.
Right up in there. Nice and comfortable, just sitting there.
Just clogs you right up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like econ honestly should sort of be an honorary STEM major because there's so much math in econ. But econ is considered a science by most people. It's just not a pure science.
To finish off Alex's asymmetrical unit of time, the amount of stress that was paralleled with last week was more than I think I've gone through in most of my life, so that was really fun.
Yeah. All right, so moving into the next segment, Michael, a trailer for a game we're both excited about dropped recently.
Oh yes, it came out. Was it Tuesday morning?
Tuesday or Wednesday morning?
Tuesday. It was Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning.
Yeah, I skipped Russian to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the reason I
You
skipped
skip Russian for everything, Michael.
Yes.
Well,
Literally just my arm can't reach far enough to hit the dismiss button. Guess I skip Russian.
Yeah, that's about it.
it's like, oh shit, my leg's outside of my blanket. Time to skip Russian.
But the point is, beside feelings about Russian class aside, Pokemon Gen 8 trailers dropped today.
Sword and Shield.
Wednesday for Sword and
It's
Shield.
happening. For a bit of context, I've played every Pokemon game since Generation 3. I've been buying the consoles. I guess been a lifelong fan. That's what got me into video games. Michael?
Yep, I've been playing since Generation 2.
I mean, those are first, because
My first game was in Gen 4, but that didn't stop me.
but the remakes.
The remakes. No, I actually have a copy of Sobble.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
But even then, you play from its time period wise. When you use a generation, you're referring to the time.
All right, well, if we want to get into technicalities, Alavi, shut the fuck up. I've been playing since Generation 4.
Okay, yeah. But so, we're both lifelong Pokemon fans. Alex, isn't.
Yeah.
No, I know the concept of Pokemon, but the most in depth I've ever gotten on Pokemon was playing Pixelmon in the mod pack for Minecraft.
To be fair, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But actually, I won't go there. But yeah,
well, the point is, this game is en route, and of course, me and Michael are incredibly excited. Alex doesn't care, so he's gonna watch the trailer, and we're gonna kind of get his reactions from it, and then talk about the game in general. So, you ready, Alex? You ready to forge a path to greatness in Pokemon Sword and Shield?
is that? Oh, that's what it's called. That's a little dumb. Nothing's happening. There's just some people existing.
So display the
Trailer,
graphics.
Alex. It's displaying the graphics, what the world's going to look like.
There's no matter was interacted with there. I mean, you know what? Hey, I'll give it this. The environments are a lot more dynamic than they were in red and blue. It's honestly impressive how much handheld consoles have evolved. Back in our day, we started off with the Game Boy Color, all right? And we had maybe the Game Boy Advance after that. And then, we've evolved through the... my first was in Advance, but I had some Game Boy Color games. Honestly, the Super Mario Brothers Deluxe game for Game Boy Color was better than any other Mario game I had for Advance. So I always played the Color game. And it always, prodded way out of the device because it was too big. But, from that to the Switch is truly impressive.
Yeah.
I might be buying a Switch just to get this game.
You better buy a Switch for this game.
I will be buying
Cheap Michael is going to buy a Switch. Wow.
He's buying it off eBay for far below market price.
Oh, I mean, I would
I'm
too.
getting it used.
I would too. No shame in that. This phone that I'm holding right here, I bought it used because why would I buy a new phone when I can buy a used phone?
I mean, in retrospect, because I bought my Switch really early on, I would have bought it used if I could have, but used would have actually probably been a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Because I bought it, I think,
Because
the summer after it came out.
When things first come out, the used market's not there, so you gotta wait.
So I got it really early on. I paid above MSRP, but it was worth it. I love my Switch. It's a great console. But so, Alex, what are your thoughts on the look? For a bit of context, the region is inspired by the United Kingdom.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that I will comment on is that with all the advanced graphics, and obviously I get that it's a cartoon game, but not cartoon game, but animated. Yeah. They have not added any detail other than a third dimension to the Pokemon.
I mean, I think that's a lot of just for the older ones. Because with some of the older ones, it's if they add that dimension, it can seem untrue to the originals. But I do know, especially with some of the newer Pokemon, they have a lot more detail, even on some of the 3DS
I've
ones.
never heard of any of the starters. Is it aren't the starters new?
Because those are brand new. But also starters generally are kept quite simple for iconography.
All right.
And they get more advanced as they evolve and have new forms. Yeah. But one of the starters from the last game, Sun and Moon, the last form of the starter Rowlet, Decidueye, was actually pretty technically advanced.
That's a drawing, but the in-game rendering is quite close to that.
All right.
And also, there's the one that's based off the Anchor. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, the anchor one. It's got coral and barnacles and stuff all over it. It actually looks really good.
Dhelmise. There we go. I tried to shiny farm for one, that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get them barnacles.
Yeah. Also, speaking of the starters, out of those ones, which one would you pick? If you just had to pick one based on looks.
Probably the monkey one. I forget what it was called.
Yes, attaboy.
Grucky. Nah. See, for the first time in my Pokemon history, I'm picking the water starter for my first playthrough. I am picking Sobble. Also, Alex and Michael are shaking hands like a couple of crackheads.
Having a great day.
I'm having a great time.
No, it's you having a great day. I'm having a great day. It's hot. I'm feeling really, really, really hot.
Alavi might actually be a crackhead. We're still not 100% sure
Who
yet.
knows? But like I was saying, I'm going to be picking the water starter for the first time for a Pokemon game. For my previous games, Gen 1 was Charizard, Gen 2 was Typhlosion, 3 was Sceptile, 4 was Infernape, 5 was Emboar for both playthroughs, which was just kind of like a mistake.
Why would you ever play Emboar?
Because I was a child.
But like Superior's
Like children
clearly
shouldn't
best
play
of
with
those
fire.
starters.
Well, I was a bad child. And then Gen 6...
We got a badass over here.
Gen 6, I picked Chestnut, which I honestly regret because Chestnut wasn't great. And Gen 7, I picked Incineroar. And then Decidueye for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Yeah, I started off Gen 1. I actually used all three in different playthroughs, but I think my first was Venusaur. And then Gen 2, I went for Alligator. Gen 3, Sceptile. But I've used all three for Gen
as have
3.
I.
Yeah. Gen 4, I went Torterra because that Earthquake. So good.
Earthquake's
Gen 5, I went Superior, but I've only played through Gen 5 once. I will not be playing it ever again. Gen 6, I also picked Chestnut, but it didn't matter because I never used it.
I didn't use Chestnut either. I boxed him.
Yeah. And then Gen 7, I also went with Decidueye. And I'm going with Grookey for this playthrough as well.
I'm going for Sobble. I like him. Also, I saw some really nice concept art. I forgot it was done by someone on DeviantArt. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. But I think it's a really nice potential evolution. Here, let me just show Michael actually for context. But it's like the fake Mon wave has started. And that's going to be a thing.
This is the wave where people start speculating on some of the new designs. What might they look like when they evolve?
But I saw one for Sobble. Like I thought this one that I saw it was from DeviantArt. It's fake, but I thought it was a really cool concept.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
The final looks a little bit but middle evolution definitely looks pretty
No,
smart.
I like the
Oof,
final.
DeviantArt. What is it, smut?
You know it. Speaking of smut, Alex. For our virtual culture class, Alex got to write gay smut.
So Alavi loves to call it gay smut, but I don't think it is so. Okay, so the concept of the assignment was you had to come up with an original idea, and you had to answer some basic questions that outline the story.
Story spine.
Yeah, story spine. That's what he calls it. So I couldn't come up with any ideas, so I started working on one from our previous class, and I'm like, I don't like this. And Alavi's like, you should do the story that we sort of just had this harebrained idea of a couple days ago over the term 1025, which, in case you don't know, which I hope you don't know, means meet in person in police 10 codes.
I mean, we might have some police listeners.
I mean, true, but like, I doubt it. But you never know. So the story was called 1025, and it's about two married cops, and then we put them to be from Missoula, Montana for various reasons. Yes, and they're did I say they're married? They have families.
Yeah,
and
they have wives, families. They're happy.
Yep, and every night they call over the radio to ask the other where they want a 1025, and they get together and they do a whole bunch of things, stuff and things.
Whole lot of homosexual activities.
Yes, those. And
they're having an affair.
Yes.
And then one night there's an armed robbery at a gas station, and they call all units to respond, and then they don't show up, and the other units notice this, and they're like, hey, what's going on there? And they launch an investigation, and they found them doing their business by the river,
by the
Bitterroot River south of town. And then they get fired, and then their wives find out. They lose their wives, and they lose their jobs, and then they move to the Canadian Rockies and start a new life.
They get all up on the news. This takes place in 1986.
Yeah, it takes place in 1986, so it wasn't necessarily culturally acceptable, especially, in the backwoods. So they just have to go elsewhere.
Completely unrelated tangent. That just happened.
Yeah, that did just happen.
Yeah, that was. But back on topic. So I just want to say I'm personally really excited about this generation because I enjoyed the 7th generation of Pokemon, but it didn't feel the same as the older games. Like, I'm really excited to kind of get back to that core concept. You know, you leave your town, you do the gyms, you fight the team. Although I will say Team Skull is my favorite team. I love Team Skull. But
I mean, I can't say Sun and Moon didn't have the same core feel. They just replaced gyms with totems and were actually a lot harder.
I didn't find them that hard.
Games.
I didn't find them that hard.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon significantly harder than the last couple games preceding it.
I didn't find them that hard, but we did run very different teams. My team was a bit more... Also, because I guess for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, since I played Sun and Moon before, I already kind of knew what was coming.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of the team dynamics going in, but still, I found myself actually having to play smart when, for the past couple games, I could just kind of breeze through sheer offense alone.
Flamethrower.
Yeah, I actually had to consider much more accurately my type matchups and switch strategies and stuff like that.
I know both my teams. Okay, more my Moon team. My Moon team was very, very poison heavy. I ran like a Salazzle, a Toxapex, and like a couple others. But even then, like, there were some tough spots. I should remember later in the game. But that being said, like, I'm also excited to see Pokemon on the Switch that isn't Let's Go, because I didn't buy Let's Go because it's just I don't like it. I dislike it.
But I mean, we were talking about this earlier. Let's Go was probably just like the introduction bridge game to like test out.
Like, I understand why it exists.
Test out the models, the renders, give it all a dry run before they drop Gen 8.
I understand why it exists, and I think it does play an important role in like the ecosystem of Pokemon games, but I just don't think it's really meant for the longer term audiences, the people who have been with it from the beginning, like Michael and I.
Oh, for sure, that's not the case.
Because I've played Pokemon since I was 5. Like, that's almost 15 years, because I'll be 20 later this year. But that's always been an important part of my life, and I didn't feel it match up that way. But yeah, I'm just really excited to see what happens. If you want more coverage on it, like as spoilers and trailers come out, let us know. Tweet us at SleepdrunkPC.
Yes, and leave some comments on our Instagram posts, or even better, email us with questions, comments, concerns.
And also tell your friends too, because that's really helpful, helping us grow. I have friends that are into Pokemon. They can see Alex, can listen to Alex have his raw, visceral reaction to that intense trailer.
It was such an intense trailer, really. Yeah.
And like Alex, he went absolutely insane. He was throwing things, like expressing his intense emotions.
Yeah, there's actually a hole in the floor from where I just kind of exploded.
There's a smoldering crater.
How are we going to explain it to housing?
Well, my plan was just to fill it in with some cement and then cover it with carpet. They'll never notice.
They won't.
Yeah.
All right, so our next segment, we went into the field and we reported, Sleep Drunk in the field, we reported on a very, very important topic, that being the items that one may find at TJ Maxx.
This was the second time I'd ever been in a TJ Maxx.
So we each went around the store. We recorded a few little segments just on our phones using mics. It's not going to be great quality audio, but you'll hear our first reactions. And we just kind of picked a few items that we thought really stood out and really exemplified really exemplified what TJ Maxx is all about. So I think I'll start with the first item I found. It is it's a certain package. I'll play my little bit here. Okay, so I am in a TJ Maxx. They're playing some what appears to be contemporary Christian country music, and I have found Dr. Bronner's all-in-one fair trade organic soap. For a bit of context, the box is absolutely destroyed. The bottom is just torn off, the sides are ripped, and the top of the soap, it's one of those squeeze bottles, there just is no top. It's sealed. It seems to be sealed. But there's no cap or anything. And this is being sold, mind you, for $11. And the box has to be held upside down because the bottom is destroyed. Also, quick context, it is in the clearance section. So this soap, I was just kind of walking around the back, so I figured we could split up, look around, each trying to get to a different part of the store. And I see the clearance rack, and this soap is just sitting there. The box is upside down because the bottom of the box has been annihilated. Like, there's pictures of these in the show notes. It's gone, and then it's like a kind of soap, and the lid is cracked. Like, it's like the kind of like a flip-up cap, right? Like, it's Like a lot of soaps, like a shampoo bottle, kind of like that. Flip up cap. The cap has just been cracked open.
You're
It's
going really
gone.
in depth on this description, Alavi. We just mentioned that there are going to be pictures in the show notes.
Yeah, no, but just no, because like it struck me as this is such a TJ Maxx thing. Because when you go into these kind of stores, it's a whole business model. Everything you find is probably going to be a little bit garbage. And like this is I think this is a set, and like one of the items of the set is missing, or maybe even two. Because
Yeah, there's definitely more than
No,
one
there's
than
definitely
just
two
that
things
soap.
missing.
yeah, like it's missing two things, and it's $11.
I think that might be the best find.
$11.
To be honest, that might be the best one.
I don't know. I think Alex, one of your finds
Yeah.
was
Well,
pretty-
tell us about
pretty
your
good.
find.
So my first item here, I'll just let the audio play. So my item here that I'm holding is a Nylabone brand dog toy. It's a bone, a chew bone, and it looks strikingly similar to a butt plug. Can't find a price. $3.99. Compare it $6. So I don't know who came up with this concept or thought that this would be a good idea. Like, it doesn't even look like it would be an ergonomic thing for a dog to chew. It just only looks like a butt plug. Like, when I see this, I can't see anything other than a butt plug.
This is true. This had to get through multiple levels of screening. Multiple people had to approve
I
this.
mean, to be fair though, made in the USA.
It is made in the USA.
Made in the
so,
USA.
You know,
Gotta support that American manufacturing. At least
It's-
I know it's gonna be tough and built to
oh, I
last.
just noticed this. It says here in the bottom right corner that it's birthday cake flavor.
Oh,
For your dog.
no.
For your dog, birthday cake flavored.
That doesn't make it any better.
Or for your anus.
Or for Uranus.
Just gotta stick it up in there.
You can have cake scented farts for a week. Like, sheesh.
So Michael, what did you find?
So I went into the toy section as well briefly, and after a little while, I found something pretty unique. I'll just let the audio play. So I'm here in TJ Maxx, and I think I found the perfect item. It's in pretty good condition. It's a reasonable price of $13. It is Monopoly Fortnite Edition. Now, I said nothing wrong with it. Was wrong with it, but clearly, that's wrong. You know why. We all know why.
That exists.
It does exist.
I despise that.
It's kind of like how they made Monopoly for millennials, but even worse. 'Cause at least Monopoly for Monopoly for millennials was like a satire thing.
Yeah, it's ironic and charming in that way because it's like, haha, millennials broke, haha.
It's just kind of like
But this isn't even satirical. It is just like, hey,
take that
Fortnite.
L. Fortnite.
It's Fortnite Monopoly. I'm getting flossed on right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's kind of like
The worst part is there wasn't actually anything wrong with the game. It's just Fortnite Monopoly. And that's what's wrong with it.
But the question is, can you save John Wick from the squads at Tilted Towers?
I can. If you want to help save John Wick from the squads and Tilted Towers, leave your
just
credit
email us your credit card number, the date, and the 3 little secret numbers on the back.
Alternatively, you can email us the phone number on the front of your mom's money card, and then the 3 special numbers on the back, along with the 2 numbers with the slashes on them. Send those, or send us a picture of your mom's money card. We'll get that phone number because that way we can call the right kind of people
and we
and
can,
let them
we
know
can save
that
John
we have
Wick.
to
Yeah, we can save John Wick, yeah.
Gotta save John Wick. So my other item, we each did we did a couple. Listen to the audio first. You'll understand.
Okay, so I found what appears to be the victim of a vicious assault. It's a large plush giraffe. He's currently lying on his stomach, and its back has been stabbed open. There is lots of exposed polyfilling. I didn't move it much out of fear of activating the wound, but I did get the price. It is $22 exactly, and I have now called 911, and first responders should be on the scene promptly. Upon further inspection, it appears that the giraffe has also had its throat slashed, so there's no saving it. Hopefully, the person who committed this brutal crime can be brought to justice.
So I'm just surprised they can even sell this for $22.
22? That's asking a lot for that.
Yeah.
$2.
Like
I would pick that up for $5. But
yeah,
I
that's
wouldn't
like
for
a
22.
That's like a $5 to $10 type deal. Not even 10. That's like a $2 to $5 type deal.
It's like we shouldn't sell this because it makes us look worse.
Because like the throat is slashed, the back is stabbed open, it's probably already bled out, it's dead.
I
That
saw
must
this
have
when I
really
first
crossed someone.
It's like, for context, that is 3.2592525926 $5 footlongs.
That's an oddly specific number of $5 footlongs. I feel like we could have just rounded somewhere.
No, because $5 footlongs are currency. And like, well, it's the $5 footlong, it's pegged to the value of a footlong Italian BMT.
Okay.
I forgot to mention the price of mine. I guess it's in the.
Yeah,
It's in the audio, yeah.
I didn't transfer it to $5 footlongs.
But I saw this giraffe when I first walked by the toy section and was considering buying it as a joke for my girlfriend. But after I saw what had happened to it,
It's the victim of a crime.
it is the victim of a crime. That's oof.
And they try to sell it for $22.
$22. That's a lot of dollars.
It's like, I wouldn't even pay that for a regular big giraffe, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like, I would want to pay more for quality, but even then, I don't need a big giraffe. This is beside the point. I actually did buy something from there, though, because they had Keurig pods. They had the Green Mountain Light Blend, and they had it was like $13 for 32. That's a really good price. So I picked those up. I actually paid patronage to the store, unlike some people.
All right, Michael. Not Michael, Alavi. I see how it is. So, my second item is going to be this one. I'll just let the audio play.
No.
So, this item here is what appears to be a cake holder or like food container, but the covers are not attached to the actual platform, and there are multiple cracks in the plastic. I don't see a price, and I'm breaking it more as I'm touching it, so I'm just gonna stop. So, looking at the picture, I don't really remember where I saw it, so it had to have been in the clearance section. Like, just look at that
clearance
photo.
rack.
Clearance,
That's
yeah.
a clearance rack.
So, all of the things around it are sort of just like not in any sort of packaging or broken. Like, I don't know what is under it. Maybe some mismatched cards, and then like that thing that says Cole sitting on top of another box that's open. And then there's also just like a spoon sitting inside it, like a serving spoon.
I mean,
it's just so sad, and it's all cracked up, and like I don't even understand how it would be put together. Also, I'm just assuming that the little plastic, like the clear plastic covers go with the thing, but also I'm not even sure, and I couldn't find a price tag on it, so I don't know how many footlongs there will be.
yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I'll be quite honest, that you can just kind of like go into your closet, throw something at the wall, and then TJ Maxx would sell it. Just like throw a coat hanger at the wall, it breaks, TJ Maxx would sell it.
And it has
they
to
put a price tag on that.
It has to look like it was thrown at the wall. Like
Yeah.
my runner-up for my first two just looked like it had been used for 10 years prior to it being in that store.
Yeah, and you can see all our runner-ups in the show notes. There's going to be some pictures.
Yeah, we'll just put pictures of everything in there that
All of
we
our
thought was
beautiful
interesting.
finds. Yeah, like this really weird shirt I found and all
Oh
sorts
god,
of stuff.
so many offensive shirts. Like
So
there are
many.
so many shirts at TJ Maxx that like attack your eyes without your consent.
It's like this one shirt I found. It is a bright blue paisley shirt made of the same material as swim trunks.
but was there a dabbing leprechaun on it?
There was not. That was a thing.
I found one of those.
what?
Yeah, there was a dabbing leprechaun on the Shamrock shirt.
I did not notice that.
It was in the tag. Like it was like that was their branding.
That's their branding. That's even worse.
Yeah. Also, they have so many pillows there. So many
So
pillows.
many
And they're
pillows.
so ugly.
Yeah, it's like they had this whole wall of just Easter pillows, like different kinds of bunnies. One that said "Sun's out, buns out," which could be misinterpreted.
Well, I think it was supposed to be misinterpreted.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's
Because
dumb.
haha, funny buns.
Also, they had Peppa Pig brand cookies, Peppa Pig chocolate chip cookies.
They had Crayola brand vitamin gummies.
No, they're just regular gummies.
No, they were Crayola brand.
Yeah, no, but like they were regular. They weren't vitamin gummies.
Oh, they were just regular gummies.
They're just standard gummies.
Colored gummies.
And it was a really big pack, too. It was like a bulk bag. It
Yes.
wasn't just kind of like...
It looked like you were buying like a bulk bag of Crayola
And also,
crayons.
I tried picking it up, and it was a brick. It was solid. There was no movement. They were like those like gummy strips, like the Airheads Extremes, like kind of like those.
Airheads
like,
Extremes are really good.
they're good. And
But like our Crayola brand.
and also keep in mind, it was a solid brick.
Did they at least have a sharpener on the back?
See, but I feel like Alex said in the story, just encourages kids to eat crayons because they got the Crayola brand gummies, and then they eat the Crayola brand crayons. Put it in, chew it up a little bit. So what if your teeth turn green?
Okay,
So what if you block up your intestines?
I found something else. I think it had to be imported from parts unknown. Maybe a relic of an ancient civilization, perhaps? Let's let the audio play. So here in the home decor section, next to some weird chairs sitting on a table, we found a little yellow lion. We're not sure what it's supposed to be. It's not marked with a price. Is it part of something else? We don't know. Is it a game? It's a Discovery Kids toy. It's marked, but I don't know what it is. It's just kind of sitting here. I don't know what to expect. Okay, so Alex actually did a little detective work on the purpose of this lion, and I'll let him explain what he found.
So I found on stage.com, I'll put the screenshot of this in the show notes.
Just put a link to buying it.
Oof. So it's a Discovery Kids lion feeding game with sounds. So it looks like it has a little like gun that you load up little balls into, and then the goal is to shoot them into the mouth, and then it keeps track of how many balls that you've shot into its mouth. And the second photo there underneath the main photo, it's frightening.
It's just kind of like
The one of the lion's face.
I sent it to my Discord server without context, and they thoroughly enjoyed it.
and also just in the context in which we found it, just sitting there, no pricing. There was a bit of silica gel in its gut.
It looks like an idol for an ancient god. Something to be praised.
It's
like some Indiana Jones level.
So now another thing I found was this. I think it's a very TJ Maxx thing, just because it is a... Well, I'll let the audio play first.
Okay, so what I found here is an Aspen Home faux fur throw, 50 inches by 60 inches. It is kind of a fake fur pelt, I guess. It is running $39.99, no, just $39 flat. It's absolutely disgusting. And yeah, it's with a bunch of other throws. Like you have some cotton ones, some linen ones, and then this abomination.
It's just so essentially TJ Maxx because it's trash quality. At least this particular one was quite overpriced. Like there was some stuff at TJ Maxx where, it makes sense, it's cheap. And it's so tacky, and that some soccer mom named Karen would pull up in her Toyota Sienna with the kids in there, buy that for her spread or something, to feel all lavish, but it's just the cheapest faux fur we could find. Like, Alex was literally able to just kind of pull strands off of it.
It's like a dog that's old. Like, it's just going to shed and get everywhere.
Yeah. It's like, I was worried to touch it because I didn't want to get, like, faux fur all over my shirt.
It was shedding from us just looking at it too long.
And, like, it's from some indie brand called, I think, Aspen. And
Aspen Home.
Aspen Home.
That was really creepy.
It was. Also, it was on a metal coat hanger. Like, a solid, like, nice high-gauge wire coat hanger. Like, the kind of stuff you could probably do prison bars out of, honestly. Like, a high-gauge coat hanger. And it's just such an unnecessary trinket. Like a lot of things in TJ Maxx, like that Cabbage Patch Kid we saw.
That Cabbage Patch Kid was
store makes
terrifying.
a living off of unnecessary trinkets. It's just what they do.
I think that actually is part of their business model. Like they buy back stock and just resell it.
Oh, they have to. That's why there were so many freaking Beauty and the Beast toys over in the toy section.
Oh, yeah.
There was just racks of the same toy. And no.
Well, I think that's also how I managed to get my very cheap coffee. Hopefully there isn't, like, rot in it or something.
Could be.
There probably is.
Probably, but hey, that's what I'm willing to find out.
Smoke it.
Next week on Sleep Drunk, Alavi smokes coffee and dies.
So, my third item, I'll go ahead and let the audio play here.
So this here is a chair gym, or at least that's what it says on the seat cushion, and it looks like one of those things you see on TV where you get in it and then you invert yourself and you just sort of sit there upside down, and that's supposed to do something for your health. It has a little box attached to the side with some hardware, and I don't see a price tag. It also looks like it's been used for several years.
I don't know that that's what it is. I think that it could be like just some other form of exercising, but like the first item that I think of when I think exercising is a chair.
Yeah. It's like you sit down in front of the couch, like it's in front of the couch, in front of the TV, watching some sports, watching the game,
And you
in your chair,
burn
getting
those
ripped.
MF calories.
I mean, to be fair, this looks like it has more potential than some exercise equipment I've seen commercials for.
That's
Y'all remember
fair.
like the hula chair?
Is it what?
Oh.
This is real. This is real. You can just look up the commercial. There is a chair that, like, on the seat, it's mobile. So you're supposed to, like, hula hoop in the chair to burn calories while at work because, you know, you're so busy and career oriented. So you can burn your calories at work or at home without the hassle of having a home gym set up. It's genius, and nobody bought it.
But is it a shake weight? Is it a shake weight? Kind of pumping away, moving it back and forth, getting shredded from your shake weight.
They still sell shake weights at Bed Bath &
I've actually
Beyond.
used one before.
Dear God,
It's
Alavi,
not
of
terrible.
course you have.
Because I was at like I have a family member who buys into this kind of stuff. He had like the gym thing with like the bars on it, like the I forgot what it's called.
Bowflex.
He has a Bowflex. He has a shake weight.
It's Chuck Norris approved. I believe it.
It's really bad. It's terrible. It's some trash. No offense, Bowflex, but your product's terrible. It is garbage.
Well, there we go. You just shot down a potential sponsor.
There's no way in hell Bowflex would sponsor us.
You never know. We just have to have like a segment on like protein powder every week.
Hey guys, welcome to the Sleep Drunk Protein Powder a segment. Let's get jacked.
Hey, that was really high energy there, Alavi.
Having a great day.
It's his crack.
Well, for my third and final item, when I saw it, I was immediately transported back to the serene landscapes of northern India. Let the audio play. It seems the home decor section is just a treasure trove of good things to do a bit on because I found a wonderfully priced $7.99 Buddha statue. Because when I think of a journey on spiritual enlightenment, I think a trip to TJ Maxx. $8.
$8.
$8.
and you can make your
Entire
$8
home.
enlightenment.
$8 for enlightenment. There you go, Alavi. You should make that a bumper sticker.
$8 for enlightenment. But how many $5 footlongs is that?
That is 1.6 $5
No, actually,
footlongs.
it's 1.18 because you forget.
1.18.
Because the $5 footlong is pegged to the cost of the Italian BMT, which is currently $6.75. So the exchange rate from $5 footlongs to US dollars is $6.75.
You never really explained the whole economic pinning of the $5 footlong
if
price
it's
to me.
$5, then it's also not $5.
No, because $5 footlong is like it's a name. It's like dollar or yen or renminbi.
No,
Right.
but you see, it's not a $5 footlong if
Because
it's
a
not worth
dollar
$5.
is already a unit of exchange.
No, but it's like the Australian dollar.
No,
or the
because
Zimbabwe
you see,
dollar.
they don't
that's a
call them
specific type
They
of
no
dollar.
longer call them $5 footlongs because they're not worth $5.
No,
So you have to either say
no,
$5
it's-
footlongs are worth $5, or you have to not say
Because here's the thing,
$5 and just
like,
call them
the
footlongs.
dollar is just nomenclature. It's
No,
because it
I'm
used
not-
to be
I'm-
worth $5.
It's not the concern. The dollar is not the concern. It's the 5.
You know, it's $5.
They don't call them $5
You've
footlongs.
You've tied the value of your products to the nomenclature of the dollar. So when it's called a
necessarily.
$5 footlong,
They don't call them $5 footlongs anymore because they're not worth $5 anymore.
Exactly.
You guys are very impassioned about this. No, the
No,
point
because
is,
you're wrong,
it is a
Alavi.
name.
No,
It is a name.
the name used to be when it was
Yeah, it
when it was
used to be.
correct, and now it is no longer correct, so
Yeah.
it is not B.
Yes.
It's not the $5 footlong anymore, Alavi. They don't exist.
Yes, but
It is
it's
very
like,
sad
Let
that
me
they don't
draw the
exist.
symbol for the $5 footlong. It's like here. They cannot see. I'll take a screenshot of this and you can put in the show notes. Like that's the currency symbol for the $5 footlong. It's like any other currency. It's just a name. It is purely a name. Yes, it has that previous connotation, but euro has a connotation too. It's like the connotation doesn't necessarily impact
Alavi,
the valuation.
if you're
of
gonna
a
call that a
currency.
$5 footlong, it has to be worth $5.
No, because
Yes.
dollar can just be a word. Dollar is a
No.
word. It's like
Dollar
words can
isn't the
mean
concern
things.
here. It's $5.
Well, five. It's an.
It is
five
an
also
amount
a
of
name.
money that
The
is no
point is,
longer true.
You're wrong, and you're trying to
wrong.
negative your way out of this, but it's not
Well,
working.
no, because it's like any other currency. Like
Alavi,
I will
it's
deliver a
not.
seminar on subonomics,
Or it'll
later.
be a webinar.
Yeah, a webinar
be a
on
webinar.
subonomics. But the point is, they don't understand it. But it's my new.
No.
Like we're gonna incorporate blockchain.
I
into
understand what you're
$5.
saying,
I understand
but it
what
doesn't
you're
make
saying.
any fucking sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Just say
See, but
Italian BMT.
But what
you
if?
little shithead.
What if? What if? So the point is, right? It's not supposed to make sense. It is inherently stupid. That's the point. The whole
Yes.
point was to get you two worked up, which was successful.
It wasn't.
No,
this,
no,
This
what's-
is just a
what's
me
getting us
coming up
worked
with
up-
things after the fact type deal, Alavi.
No. I intended this. I planned this whole segment out 4 hours ago. I planned for this to happen.
I'm sure you did.
I was
I'm
thinking
sure
as
you
I was
did.
yes.
All part
as
of
I was
your
walking out of my
All
room
part
with a
his
fruit
evil
roll up.
plan.
No, 'cause I mentioned it while you were editing those photos, didn't I? I just kind of said $5 footlongs are a currency. I
Yes,
said that.
you
while
did say that $5 footlongs were a currency, but you also didn't try to act like $5 footlongs weren't worth $5.
This is the first time
Because
you're doing
you
this.
can
Yeah, I
pick
know.
you can pick one of two things, okay? You can pick $5 footlongs that are worth $5, or you can pick footlongs that are worth $6.75.
But
Currently,
You can't have both.
You can't have both.
Shush.
But like, what if I could? See, feel very oppressed right now. The point still stands. Viewers, okay, listeners, how about this, okay? If you understand the point of what I'm getting at, tweet us at SleepdrunkPC. Let us know that the $5 footlong as a currency is currently valued at $6.75. Like
it's
many
not a
other
$5
currencies.
footlong. It's just a footlong.
No, but it's
just a-
$5 just the name. It's just the name.
But then it's not anymore.
Maybe an inconvenient
It's not
name?
anymore.
Maybe.
The name is no longer $5 footlong. The name now is footlong.
Well, I mean, no, but the name is just the name.
No, the name is a
Alavi.
previous
Alavi.
name. The name has been changed. You have to embrace the
You're
change.
assigning nomenclature where nomenclature does not exist because Subway no longer uses the $5 footlong identification, Alavi. Your nomenclature is wrong. Your facts and logic are not real.
But, like, they're real in my head.
We just slammed Ben Shapiro himself into the ground with incredible force.
No, Ben Shapiro will come here and back us up.
Ben Shapiro would back us up and destroy the libtard that is Alavi.
Like, I actually did plan, like, no joke, I actually did plan for this to happen. Like, I actually did think this out.
See, and you knew, and
knew you two would get really
that
worked
your
up about
argument
it.
was so fucking
Exactly.
dumb
I know it's stupid, and now you two are very
and
mad.
incorrect.
It is stupid, it is
You're
incorrect.
living life wrong, Alavi. Usually that's my
Alavi just
job.
admitted that it's incorrect.
I did, but, like, it isn't. It's like this other thing I came up with a while ago called weight-based currency, which I'm not going to explain right now, because that's even more stupid, but it should be a thing.
You want to stab him or should I?
I don't have my knife on me. Do you?
No, I left it back in the room.
Mine's on my bed. Can you hand it to me?
Sure.
I never explained weight-based currency to you guys, did I?
Thank you. Alavi's now dead.
Alavi's dead. Alex and I are just going to continue the rest of this episode.
Alright, this is Ghost Alavi speaking. I've come back from the dead. That was very painful, and I don't appreciate that, so...
Well, maybe don't
Ghost-
suck next time.
Ghost Alavi, you want me to perform an exorcism on you?
I'm a good ghost. You can't exorcise me.
Yes, I can. All I need is some salt.
Well, you got any salt?
Does Sean have any salt?
He has a lot of ketchup. Ketchup's pretty salty.
Ketchup is pretty salty.
No, ketchup's acidic. They don't put that much salt in ketchup. Ketchup's mostly vinegar.
I'm sure it'll work.
Let's check the sodium levels on a bottle of ketchup.
Thanks for leaving my fridge open.
It's got 160 milligrams per 1 tablespoon serving.
Damn, that's really salty.
That's pretty salty.
I should stop eating ketchup. My blood pressure's already really high. Or actually, my blood pressure used to be high because I'm a ghost now. So, in episode 2, we forgot to mention episode's 1 song of the day. So, drum roll. Michael.
So the song of the day for our first episode was an 80s pop classic, Space Age Love Song by A Flock of Seagulls.
I'd never heard it before this.
Alavi.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. It's not like the song's anything special, but like 80s pop music that all sounds the same? Come on.
Yeah, I know, I'm an absolute degenerate of a menace to society.
It's one of A Flock of Seagulls' like only good songs.
See, but
I don't really know any of their names. I just know that they exist, and I've probably heard them a million times before because that's how all 80s pop music is.
Exactly. So maybe I have heard it, but
You probably
it all
have.
sounds the same.
You didn't recognize it, though?
Yeah.
Like,
It was in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
I think going back, I might have heard it.
It was in the Homecoming scene, I believe.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
Huh. Well, point is, the song of the day for episode 2 was, drumroll for myself, My Favorite Things by John Coltrane, a jazz classic, which I'm sure both of you have heard of extensively and understand all the intricacies and nuances of.
oh, yes, you know me, jazz connoisseur.
I know a little bit about jazz.
Yeah.
I don't know how music works, but I know a little bit about the general structure.
So please, Michael, explain to me the Coltrane changes and the ways they handle relative keys and transitions across the circle of fifths.
I don't know keys.
That's what I thought. You uneducated
I
swine.
said I don't know the music. I just know like the
Yeah.
general atmospherics.
Well, yeah, it was the first episode. For episode 1, nobody guessed it. If you want to guess it, tweet us at Sleepdrunk BC.
It's a
Comment on
little late
Instagram.
now, considering we've already spoiled it.
I mean, we have, but like for future songs. And for episode 2, it was guessed by.
Hello, Sleep Drunk audience. This is Alavi speaking during editing. So originally, we were planning to record a bit where we mentioned the names of everyone who guessed Song of the Day. But then some plans changed, and I am now on my laptop on the floor at midnight in proximity to a baby editing the episode. So I'd just like to give a shout out to Eamon.Rashid22 on Instagram for guessing the Song of the Day. If you think you can guess this episode's Song of the Day, tweet us at SleepDrunkPC or comment on an Instagram post.
This episode of the Sleep Drunk Podcast was brought to you by no one. Us.
Yeah, it was brought to you by us, by Alex and I slaving away in his room, working on various back-end stuffs.
Yes, that is true. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Sleep Drunk Podcast. Our podcast can be found on all of your favorite listening platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more.
We'll catch you next week.
We'll catch you next week.
We will catch you next week.